onto the Earth's atmosphere. And these objects which you see coming away from the Earth really shouldn't be there. Every object should be captured by the Earth's gravity. And that large object that emerges from the atmosphere is a complete and utter mystery. Now, the moon has been thoroughly mapped, and there's ongoing moon mapping missions with satellites going around the lunar surface taking high-definition photographs. Nearly every couple of years there's a mission like that. And what I've done here is I've got a moon atlas which has been stitched. All these individual JPEG images from various lunar surveying missions have been stitched together. And the near face of the moon never changes as far as our point of view is on planet Earth. The moon does not rotate, and so there's always this hidden dark side of the moon. And in this animation we can go from pole to pole, and as each year goes by the quality of the images which we get from the lunar surface are increasing and increasing and increasing. It's interesting that I've never seen any lunar survey images which have been sharp enough detail to show any of the landing sites of the Apollo missions. What French astronomers have done is they've mapped these high-res images from the NASA archive onto a three-dimensional spherical model of the moon. This is the near side of the moon with all of its so-called seas. These are where liquid lava 100 million years ago leaked into large crater areas or depressed areas, and many of these seas are fairly level and featureless. But as we go onto the dark side of the moon, this is the coming around now, this is the side of the moon which we never really see. You can see that there's quite a difference in the topography and the geography of the dark side of the moon. There's not so many of these flat areas which are shown up in this animation as being dark. And let's face it, it's a very large object, and if aliens were to come to Earth, it would be a very, very useful stopping off place, because, as I said earlier, the near side of the moon is always the same side of the moon which we see from Earth. This animation of the moon does not rotate, so we never see the dark side of the moon, and therefore it could potentially be a very useful place for extraterrestrials to have a landing stage and stop off before they enter the Earth's atmosphere. And I believe that the space shuttle and the Dara Orpheus satellites and other equipment are being used to track UFOs which are visiting the atmosphere and planet Earth as they come from the moon.
We have an unidentified flying object.
There we go. Big vertical streaks in the sky.
Come on, we're going to record on this side.
I have no idea what the hell they are.
Santa, unusual encounter, or whatever it is. Unusual sighting.
Is that the main one over there? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that too.
I can get this damn thing open. There we go.
You see it?
Look at that shit.
How big is it? How big can you see it now? It's real bright.
Man, that's weird.
Let me see your lighter.
No, I don't have one. As a matter of fact, I need it.
Dude, look at it.
Have you ever seen that?
You seen it through the EVG yet?
Come here and look at it.
That's some weird shit. Look at it. Did you see it, Cheetah?
Yeah, there's multiple.
They're all over the place.
B67 over here.
But that's the main one. That's the brightest one. There's some over here. I don't know if it's the way the stars are shining.
No, I don't think so.
You also have a red haze over there, so.
Yeah.
That's weird.
This animation simulates what it would be like to travel through the universe at 100,000 times the speed of light. Our nearest galaxy is the Andromeda Galaxy, which can be seen with the naked eye from planet Earth. Our own Milky Way galaxy is actually on a collision course with the Andromeda Galaxy. And in a few million years from now, we will crash into the Andromeda Galaxy, and the spiral arms of the Milky Way and the giant galactic center of the Andromeda Galaxy will swirl and coalesce into a giant super galaxy. The universe has many super galaxies and even clusters of galaxies. And each galaxy cluster contains billions of stars, exactly the same as our Sun. And each of these suns may be orbited by hundreds of trillions of planets. Edwin Hubble was the first astronomer to detect that the universe is expanding from a central point. 13.7 billion years ago, a gigantic explosion called the Big Bang gave birth to our universe. And since that time, the universe has been expanding and growing, with new stars being formed all the time. In fact, this is what we see in the Orion Nebula. In the belt of Orion, there is a star nursery. Huge columns of gases are coalescing and creating new stars all the time. If just one of the trillions of planets in our universe developed intelligent alien life forms, say 1,000 years before mankind developed spaceflight, then aliens would most probably be exploring the universe by sending probes into the cosmos, just as we are doing today. Stars, such as our Sun, have a lifespan of around 10 billion years. When all the gases have been used up, our Sun will go dark. It will become a black sun and begin to shrink. Only the gravitational force would be left. concentrated into a spherical ball just a few meters in diameter. All the planets in our solar system would be sucked into the center of the dying sun. The immense gravitational force of the formerly huge sun would become so condensed that it would begin to suck surrounding stars into itself. Even rays of light, which are made from photons, would be sucked and bent into the center of the dead sun. And this is what's known as a black hole. In his book, A Brief History of Time, Professor Stephen Hawking postulates that at the center of every galaxy there is a black hole, or even a cluster of black holes, whose immense gravitational forces attract nearby stars and even attract nearby smaller galaxies. This theory explains the common swirled shape of many galaxies, which resemble pools of water going down a giant galactic plug hole. But black holes are far more than just a plug hole. Some black holes suck and swirl cosmic gases and stars so quickly from the surrounding space that enormous jets of material are flung out into the cosmos from the center of the galactic core. The spiral shape of most galaxies seems to suggest that black holes do indeed exist at the center of every galaxy and at the center of every galaxy cluster, sucking and attracting gases, coalescing cosmic dust into stars and planets, and over billions and trillions of years swallowing everything around them. Right now, at NASA and universities all around the planet, physicists are beginning to theorize what would happen if one were to travel through a black hole. The idea of traveling into a black hole and then emerging on the other side into a new part of the universe is known as the wormhole theory. At the Hadron Collider at CERN in Switzerland, scientists are testing the wormhole theory by creating atom-sized black holes. And just recently, the Hadron Collider had to be shut down, as physicists became worried that these man-made black holes may in actual fact begin to warp the Earth's gravity and create a catastrophe with our planet being sucked into one of these artificial, microscopic black holes. Albert Einstein postulated that nothing could travel faster than light. But just recently, Cambridge theoretical physicists led by Professor Stephen Hawking have devised theories which suggest that there are 11 dimensions, and each dimension contains a separate universe, and that these universes are co-joined together on giant membranes